Take NATO, for example. What did Trump do with NATO? He was misquoted as saying he wants to get rid of it. No, he didn't. He said, look, if America's going to pay the big lion's share of the costs of NATO, you will have to stump up and pay what you're supposed to be paying, and you're not. What's happening now? Have you noticed? Every other NATO country is now paying what they should have been paying. That is billions of dollars they wouldn't have been paying if Trump hadn't rattled the American saber of power. And America does that because America, in the end, has to do most of the heavy lifting. So I think Trump has a blunt way of going about things. Yes, sometimes his rhetoric can be, it can be controversial, it can be disappointing if you like him. Sometimes he'll groan and go, don't say that, Donald. But actually on the world stage, a lot of world leaders that I've talked to and interviewed, they have a respect for him. They do think he's a tough character. They do think he gets stuff done. And they do think this weird way he goes about dealing with people like Putin, like President Xi, like Kim Jong-un. He brings them in, if you like. And I think it's quite an effective tactic. You get these dictators, these very controversial foreign leaders. Trump gets them in, he sits down with them, he treats them with respect. Makes it quite tricky for them to pull stunts on his watch, and they didn't.
Right. I also think that a lot of the issues he ran on in 2016 are more apropos today. Build a wall. Oh, we're not going to build a wall. Get rid of sanctuary cities. Oh, you're so mean. Almost every sanctuary city is going, how did it get so bad? And how did we not finish that wall?
And what are the two big issues? Economy, immigration. What are the two things that the American voters in all the polls I've seen trust most with Trump over Harris? Immigration and the economy. They believe he will get this cost of living crisis over and done, and they believe with immigration he'll be tougher than she is. And if in the end he wins, it will be because of those two issues.
All right, I have bad news for Del Frisco's or the Hard Rock. Pierce is coming.
Elio's.
All right, and that's where you're going? Okay. That's where you're going right after?
I'm actually running a couple of minutes late. So if you wouldn't mind just wrapping this, Brian, I've got a meal to go to.
Well, I don't have a live audience, so I'll do it by myself. By the power vested in me, you are free to go. Pierce, thanks so much.
Great to see you.
I'm honored you kicked us off.
It's going to be a fascinating few days.
And I'm so glad you're in our studio at 1211.
It's a massive studio. How do they give you one this big?
This is what I demand.
Did they think I was coming in soon?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You have certain demands and I have certain demands. Thanks so much, Pierce.
Great to see you.
All right.